We are back, and we had Max Kaiser on last night for an hour, and what he told me, Lindsey, was that if the dollar does crash all the way, and he does believe that's going to happen, that they're going to replace it with another currency. Do you see that happening, or do you literally see a gutting of the dollar into the fact
That's
that people...
That's exactly what they said at the G20 meeting just the other day. And it's my opinion that instead of going to the Amero, now this is personal opinion, this gentleman did not say this that I talked with back a few months ago. It's my personal opinion that they're going to bypass the Amero. Too many Americans are waking up, Jason, because of programs like yours and Alex Jones. The Americans are waking up so fast, and that's one thing the elite can't stand. When I lived with these people, I learned that there was only one thing they're afraid of. They are scared to death of the masses waking up. And it's my opinion that they're going to bypass the Amero, maybe even the North American Union, and go directly into a world currency. And this is what they discussed at the G20 meeting the other day. Now, keep in mind, you can be encouraged over two or three things. If there's any encouragement in this, let me try to give you this one first before I give you the rest of it. Crude oil will stay $50 a barrel. It may go to 45. It may go up to 55. They're going to keep it around $50 a barrel. That means you're going to pay at the gas pump for the next year to a year and a half. Truckers, be encouraged by this. For the next year to a year and a half, you're going to be able to buy gasoline at the gas pump at $1.50 to $2 a gallon. Secondly, you are going to see some other things take place that you will like. This past Christmas, prices 50%, 75% off when you went to the stores. Enjoy it. Anything that you need that you can afford to pay for, buy it right now. Now, don't go and put it on a credit card and on credit, but if you can buy it and you need it, get it now, because 6 to 9 months from now, you are going to see hyperinflation in this country that is going to be so devastating that okay, let me tell you why. Let's just look, for instance, the port of Los Angeles, where the largest port in the United States of America that brings in supplies from abroad. Their imports and exports are down 50% from 1 year ago. That means the products are being brought into America. Look at the Baltic Dry Index. It's down 91%. That means the people who do the manufacturing, purchasing of raw materials like steel and plastic and everything else imaginable, is down 91%. Now, this indicates what's going to happen 6 to 9 months to 1 year down the line, and this is what this gentleman indicated. He said we're going to see an inflationary, hyperinflationary trend in America. They're going to be money-chasing products that don't exist, and yet the money is going to be worthless also. And as a result, you are going to see some of the most devastating effects because of this. And watch it now. Put it on your calendar. And if Jason allows me to appear back on his show again about 6 or 8 months from now, you're going to say, Lindsey Williams is a prophet. And I'm going to say, no, I'm not. And you say, well, you must be a palm reader then. I'm going to say, no, I'm not that either. I'm not a soothsayer. I'm just a everyday individual that by the providence of God had the privilege of living with these people, have kept up with a few of them for a while. I put on my britches every morning just like Jason does. And you see, just ordinary people, but I happen to know that the elite told me these things were going to take place, so put it on your calendar. 6, 9, maximum 1 year from now, you will see such hyperinflation in America. You wish you had bought everything that you could have bought now that you could have afforded. Also, listen to this one. America must attract 17% of the world's capital in any given day just to service our national debt.
Well, hold it right there, Lindsey. We'll get into that on the other side, and then I do want to discuss the G20 and the IMF. I mean, the IMF declared they were going to have this global super currency, and of course, Gordon Brown said it was an emerging new world order. Pastor Lindsey Williams on the other side. It's the InfoWarrior, and we're going to take your calls, 866-582-9933.
This is the shipping version of the Liberty unit. It's the basic unit that we work with. It consists of 14 cases and a pail of sprouting seeds and a sprouter. Extremely well balanced, and this is the one that we adjust for special dietary needs, like diabetics and people with gluten intolerances. Also, those who are concerned about not having any soy products or textured vegetable protein, this is the unit that we adjust for special needs. All of these 1 year supplies are extremely well balanced. They have all the fruits and vegetables and dairy products, everything that you need for a normal diet, and it fits most people. But if you have special needs, if you're a vegan, or if you're a diabetic, or have gluten intolerances, please call us directly and we'll be able to adjust your unit to fit what you need. The 800 number is 800-810-4441, and that will get our administrative office and we'll help you as best we can.
All right, folks, we are back. It's the InfoWarrior. Now, Lindsey, the IMF came out and said, look, we're going to print this global super currency. This was about 2 weeks before the G20. They have the G20. Gordon Brown gets up, starts talking about an emerging new world order. They talk about this new currency. It seems to be here in the backdrop. Like you said, you think they may skip the Amero. I mean, this is just unbelievable stuff that they're admitting right out in the open.
One of the first things I learned when I lived with the elite years ago was to listen to their buzzwords. Oh, my goodness, how important it is. New World Order. George Bush Sr., many years ago. 1,000 points of light. They tell you everything they're going to do. One of their latest buzzwords is too big to fail. AIG. We can't let them go under. Listen to the buzzwords that they're giving you, because that's exactly what they intend to do. And I believe, Jason, from what I'm seeing, and now this gentleman did not tell me this. This is just what I'm seeing from the G20. I believe that they're going to bypass the North American Union idea. I think they're going to bypass the Amero. I think they're going directly into a new world order, world currency. It's to their advantage to do it, and they're being able to break America and put it in the condition that they want it in fast enough to be able to do it. And so, yes, I think you'll see that much faster than what we think for.
Well, why don't you finish up that last point that you were talking about over the break, and then we'll start taking some calls. We got loaded lines for Lindsey Williams. Go ahead, Lindsey.
Well, let's just look at what they're doing to America, for instance. Let me give you corporate profits. Corporate profits. Macy's are down 59%, the department store. Target, corporate profits are down 41%. J.C. Penney's corporate profits are down 41%. Office Depot lost $1.5 billion. And then you saw what happened to Circuit City. Now, as a result of that, oh, my goodness, and I must get into this quickly. Let me just try to cover this if I can. We are seeing a tax shortfall in America that is going to be so devastating within the next 60 days that you are going to be appalled. They came out with the report 2 days ago that the tax receipts for the federal and state government are down $54 billion in 1 month. Now, what do these taxes support? For instance, at the gas pump, let's just, you can relate to this. Here we are, gasoline, $4 to $5 a gallon, depending on where you are. It goes down to $1.50 a gallon to $2 a gallon. Do you realize that the states and the federal government has lost between 50 and 75% of the tax on that gallon of gasoline within 4 months' time? And then you take all these corporate profits that are falling by 40 and 50%. AIG's in the mess they're in. General Motors is having to be bailed out. Chrysler, the people buying automobiles, in the condition that the finances are in the country, our tax receipts are falling so fast. What do they support? Highways, infrastructure, schools, school teachers, governments. They announced today in Arizona that the state of Arizona, just within the past month, $2 billion. Do you realize that CNN News announced on yesterday, you can go back and find this in the archives, police officers in New York State, they lay off 253 police officers in New York State alone on yesterday. Why? They don't have the taxes to pay them anymore. America's tax base is dwindled, and it usually takes a 3-month lag before the federal and state government catches up with what the tax base really is. And 60 days from now, school teachers, watch out for your job. County and state officials, you're losing your job. Listen to what happened in Iceland. The identical same thing is going to happen in America that happened in Iceland and in Latvia when their governments came to the point. You see, the federal government can print all the money they want to out of thin air. States and cities can't do that. As a result, they have to depend on the taxes, and when the taxes don't come in and they're 3-month lag there before they really catch it, 60 days from now, you're going to see one of the most devastating effects in this country you could ever possibly imagine, Jason, and it scares the daylights out of me.
And you know, that really coincides with the news on CNN today that they're going to shut down 23 schools in Detroit, Michigan alone. I mean, it goes right there. I mean, they're saying they don't have the funding for it. I mean, what is going to happen to all these kids?
Okay, let me read you what's going to happen in America. Now, you say, how do you know this? because it's already happened. You say you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Come on, you must be a sorcerer. No, I'm not. Let's look at Iceland. Mm-hmm. Iceland was the first company to declare bankruptcy back in November as a country. The 300,000 inhabitants of Reykjavik, Iceland, are stunned at how fast the standard of living has dropped. Overnight, people have lost their savings. Prices are soaring. Once crowded restaurants are almost empty. Banks are rationing foreign currency. Companies are finding it difficult to do business abroad. Inflation is at 16% and rising. People have stopped traveling overseas. The local currency, the krona, was 65 to $1 a year ago. Now it is 130 to $1. Companies are slashing salaries, reducing workmen's hours, and in some instances embarking on mass layoffs. That's exactly. Look and see what happened to Latvia. I won't take time to read that one for lack of time.